afternoon. Before we begin, I just want to show you all something. What am I spelling? I know you can all read and understand these letters, and that's not only because of the Village People's very catchy disco tune, but because these letters were created by the most basic tool that we possess, our bodies. These letters created by our bodies resonate with us because as human beings, regardless of culture or language, we all pretty much share the same anatomy. I'm Cheryl Yao, and today I'm going to speak to you about the relationship between letters and the human body. Typography, the design of letters, and the art of making language visible frequently dismisses figurative letters as an obscure and arbitrary subset. But today, I want to demonstrate to you its potential as an alternate mode of expression. As a designer myself, I think there's a lot more we can do with the medium than just dance to the song YMCA. The human body has served as a tool for designers to create and understand type for centuries. As you can see, people become very imaginative with this medium. Beginning with early medieval manuscripts, illustrators decorated biblical texts with painted images of the prophets. And during the Renaissance, French humanist Jeffrey Schnapp invented a typeface based entirely on the dimensions of Leonardo da Vinci's Vitruvian Man. At the advent of modern printing, punch cutters even described letters like the body. Borrowing the vocabulary of human anatomy, punch cutters referred to some typographic parts as the eye, ear, shoulder, spine, arm, leg, and even crotch of a character. Exploiting this common knowledge not only strengthened the communication among typographers at the time, but also emphasized the undeniable connection people felt towards the letters that represented them. But despite the innate relationship between our bodies and typography, emerging technologies have encroached more and more on the design of our letters. Details such as the incisive serif on the Roman capital, the acute angles of the Gothic black letter, and the pixelation of early bitmap fonts exist as remnants of the tools they were created with, the chisel, the pen, and the dot matrix printer, respectively. Letterform design became a representation of the technology available at the time. Modernists especially embraced the aesthetic of their tools. Functionalist designers like Wim Kraull celebrated the limitations of the machine by proposing a new alphabet, entirely void of curves. A few years later, fellow Dutch designer Anton Beke critiqued Kraull's design by creating his own naked ladies' alphabet, composed of 12 bare ladies photographed in the shape of 18th century Baskerville letterforms. These opposing ends of the spectrum show that there are legacies in both machine and body-inspired type. But there was also the Czech designer Karel Tige. Like many of his contemporaries, he supported modernism, influenced the Bauhaus greatly, and embraced new technology. But he also hoped that though the new living style was to be, at its best, logical, it must also cater for the irrational side of man, that side of him which hungered for the bizarre, the fantastic, and the absurd. With his photographic book, Abizida, Tige envisioned typography that will accommodate both our bodies and new photo montage technology. Following Tige's example, some designers I spoke to recently are creating fusions of the two. These contemporary examples are what I call cyborg typography, half machine, half organism. They show that typography can become an extension of the human body through the use of technology. This method of creating type is exciting because it is responsive to its context. Two Swiss designers, Michael Flukiger and Nicholas Kunz, explored these cyborg possibilities with their interactive typeface, Leica. In this particular experiment, they've used a sensor to detect motion. people walking by can alter the type with the movement of their bodies. Leica is extremely open-ended and can be connected to virtually any input device to modify its design. Here, the designers connected a scale to affect the weight of letters. The possibilities for a typeface like Leica are immense, and it means we no longer are constrained only to preset variations such as bold or italic. Letters could be measured by moisture, warmth, speed, or even drunkenness. Another type designer, Andy Clymer, is developing a facial recognition app. Using a webcam, Clymer's app FontFace tracks facial expressions and translates them to affect the letters. He challenges users to think more carefully about how they use their faces as they sit in front of the computer, engaging their bodies in type design. Amandine Alexandra, a graphic designer in London, takes it even further by bringing her type out into the urban environment in front of a live audience. I experimented with her design last December when I tried being a human letter myself. As protesters assembled to mark the 3rd month anniversary of the Occupy movement, I took Alessandra's wearable lettering to Duarte Square. Here you can see myself and a few enthusiastic volunteers contorting our bodies to form verbs, which I felt represented the actions the protesters wanted to see. There was not only a connection between each of us to form a word, but a direct conversation between the letters and our audience. Our letter forms changed as people came up to us to interact. They were asking us questions, spelling the words out loud, and even giving us feedback whenever the letters weren't clear. People were so passionate about what we were doing, it was hard to tell where the performance began and where it ended. Typography in this instance was responsive, dynamic, and most importantly, addressed our emotional sensibilities as well as the context we were in. In a protest environment especially, figurative typography proved to be an interactive and collaborative medium. Our performance at Occupy was the most compelling typographic experience I've ever had. And I'd like all of you to try it too. My goals are to bring the body back into type design and to encourage designers to make letters that are once again bizarre, fantastic, and absurd. Thank you.